Early childhood teacher is someone who has the characteristics, capabilities, knowledge, and skills necessary to provide programs that facilitate children's learning by creating an environment that allows children to grow, learn, and acquire the skills and abilities they will need for future success. An early childhood educator is someone who has the abilities to inform and advocate for children's families, educators, and organizations' rights. Someone who advocates for children's learning and better outcome by developing positive relationship with parents through productive interaction and communication to work collaboratively towards achieving a high-quality learning outcome for children. Quality 86 of National Quality Framework emphasizes on supporting relationship with families by recognizing that collaborative relationships with families are fundamental to achieving quality outcomes for children, ECE3002 2018. An effective early childhood educator is someone who strives to foster high standards for themselves and hold their colleagues to high standards and make sure they do their absolute best for children. A good early childhood educator is someone who speaks in favor of children's rights to lead their own learning and have the authority to do what amuses their mind, and someone who recognizes children's potential, strength, and their personal identity, rather than understanding them vulnerable and incompetent, and someone who challenges the perspective that children are empty vessels waiting to be filled with knowledge. A good educator believes that children actively participate in developing and constructing knowledge on their own, and they start exploring the world at an early age, where they investigate, experiment, and develop their own theories. Children are like young scientists who have the eager and curiosity to discover, explore, and experiment. They are constantly observing, hypothesizing, testing, and modifying. The traditional perspective of considering children empty vessels underestimates their capabilities, competences, and isolates their skills and creativities. This can be linked to John Dewey's progressive movement, where he believed that the purpose of education was not just to transmit information, but to create thinkers. Scott, 2021. Good teachers are not supposed to be directive of children's learning, but they should encourage children to make choices and take some authority of their own learning. Sharon and Mindy, 1999. Good early childhood educator is someone who advocates for children by facilitating children's learning and needs and create an appealing environment that enhances their imaginations, ideas, and creativities, that extends on children's interests. They do not direct children's learning by instructing them and imposing structured activities that minimize children's interest in the learning experiences. As suggested by John Dewey, learning should originate from interest of the child, and the teacher are the facilitators of learning. Scott, 2021. Furthermore, good early childhood educators understand the importance of not forcing children to learn, but they actively advocate for their freedom of movement and exploration, and the rights to discover their own world, where they can lead their own learning and development without intervention and instructions of an adult, where a child has the freedom and liberty to choose to do what interests and amuses their mind. This is supported by Plato, who suggested that do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their minds. Wikibooks, 2010. Professionals working with children have an important role in advocating for them by taking a proactive approach towards recognizing the rights of all children and responding by trying to change system, policies, and individuals. Child advocacy involves raising the status of children, increasing their self-determination, and the responsiveness and accountability of institutions affecting them. NEB and Smith, 2007. According to Wanaganayoki, 2012, advocacy and activism are professional and ethical responsibilities of all educators. Therefore, early childhood teachers are encouraged to actively advocate for children by taking actions that empower and protect their best interests, freedom of movement, and play. Early childhood professionals need to understand the necessity of advocating and speaking on behalf of children's families themselves, and the profession as a whole to ensure the future well-being of the children, families, and the early childhood professionals. As an early childhood practitioner, I understand the importance of advocating for children by recognizing the importance of addressing any barriers to the optimal learning, development, and well-being of children attending an early childhood setting. I understand the ethical responsibilities to take action in the face of injustice when unethical practices occurs. Wanaganayoki, 2012. As a future advocate for children's rights, I understand the importance of working in the best interest of children's safety, well-being, and development. Thank you.